Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to All the Mods Expert Remastered. So, since the last episode, I have done a bit of stuff upstairs, mainly, kind of getting us ready for... Nope, you don't. Go into the water. Getting us ready for this episode, also a bit of starting some cleanup stuff. In here, you'll notice I did move our resonator into here. But then also in addition, I made a bunch of machines. More machines of what we'd already made. So fermenters, I've actually added a second one. And that's because I wanted one that has fruit juice. And this one you can see is creating biomass using saplings and mulch. Right now it's just a manual setup. Later on we'll automate it, but we've got plenty of biomass. And the fruit juice is all coming from here. And I've actually got a conduit that kind of runs into the floor and plugs into the fermenter. But what I'm doing is I'm squeezing apples. And apples, whenever you squeeze them, you get fruit juice, and you get that compost, or that mulch, I mean. And basically, fruit juice is a better version of water. So we get a lot more output of biomass using fruit juice compared to us using water. And fruit juice, we have so many apples coming in from our tree farm, I figured, why not? Because I'm not using them for anything at the moment. Though we will be using them for some power a little bit later on. But right now, I've got tons of apples and fruit juice, mulch, might as well. And then this fermenter here is eventually going to be used for honey, just for making mead, which we'll do that a bit later. It's just kind of there in preparation of future expansions. And then I have carpenters here. This one handles water. I went ahead and just filled it up with water. I haven't automated water input yet. I will, but it's very simple for me to walk over here, get some buckets, and fill it. And then I've got a carpenter here with seed oil, I've got one here with honey, and then I've got one here that handles biomass. And then over here we've got 3 squeezers. This one handles seed oil, this one handles honey, this one handles the fruit juice, and the outputs just pump into the singularity tanks. So I've done some seed oil, I haven't sat down to make a bunch, and then I've done some honey basically just to store into buffers so that it's kind of locked in. And then I've got a couple centrifuges here that run honeycombs. So you can throw a honeycomb in here. I don't think I have any on me. Actually, yeah, I do. I do have one. I broke a few honey, or a few hives. And then I've actually had the bees over there. I've been running them. I still haven't made any more apiaries because it's not a high priority thing. But I will, probably between this episode and next, just so we can get that quest knocked out and really start kicking through bees. But I spent a while making these machines and stuff. If you throw a comb into here or run it through the centrifuge, it's going to fill up this progress bar, and then it's going to move the comb right there. And then it's going to fill up the bar again. You can see we got a honey drop, and it's filling it up again. And we got some more silky propolis. Okay, that's like the only machine that I have here that we didn't make last episode is the centrifuges. So that's basically what I'm using them for, is because we're moving into bees. I wanted to get those crafted and put in, and I went ahead and made 2, basically just to kind of balance things out so it wasn't like all lopsided. And then I've got our thermionic fabricator here, and I do have a redstone signal turned on to it. Basically I'll turn the redstone signal off whenever I want to craft, so we're not wasting power, because this thing does have to heat up. And it doesn't really use up a whole lot of power passively to stay at full heat, but I figured, like, just for the sake of it, we'll keep that turned off unless we're using it, because I'm not using it regularly enough. So, and then I also crafted a macerator and electric furnace here just for manual usage. And then I moved our atomic reconstructor. This does have power. I ran all of our power cables up with hardened flux ducts. So we have power up to this room, and then we have power up to the immersive engineering room. So, and a lot has changed over in this room. We'll pop over here, and you can see this room has started expanding. We got our crusher set up here, and I've just got hoppers here. I've been running black quartz and gold through this, so we have a lot of that stuff now. And then over here we've got a metal press. So this room I have started reorganizing, and you can see right here where the hardened flux ducts come up. And actually right over there is the room below this, like our other little tool room. And then power runs down to the floor and over to the crusher, and power runs up and over, and it hits the metal presses. So this one has the wire mold in it. So I did spend a bit of time doing that, and I spent a bit of time prepping stuff that we're going to need and kind of finalizing my ideas as far as what I wanted to use for charcoal-based power and what I wanted to use for bio-based power. And I think I've come up with a pretty good idea. And we're going to kind of segue into some of that today. We're going to start with handling the charcoal power. Now, I will say that we really don't need the charcoal-based power right now, but we're going to be utilizing some of it. But first up, I want to go ahead and grab one of these pieces of reinforced metal. Just because we have not done this on camera yet, and I want to show you guys if you have any questions about this. Our durability on our cart is now at 49%. So what we can do is we can take this and just drop it into this slot right here, and you'll notice that it's going to start running that through. You see a percentage meter there, 10%, 11%, so on. It's going to go up to 100%, and it's going to repair our cart. And it's actually 50% durability that's repaired to the hardened woodcutter. So one refined metal at 49% durability, we're going to be up to 99% durability again. So it's actually fairly cheap to repair. Now long term, like I said, we'll get into the Galgadorian. That is infinite durability. This one, not so much, but I mean, it's had that durability up for a while. For a very, very long while. And I'll show you how much supplies we have. 99%. There we go. And it's off again. Now you can't repair it, and you can't, honestly, if you put metal into this, it kind of messes up if it's not at a point that it can use the metal. So I don't suggest putting a bunch of metal in there and letting it sit on the metal, like just manually repair it. But over here we have 7,475 saplings. We have 1,930 apples, and I've actually been I used quite a few stacks of those. 267 double compressed sticks. We don't have any wood built up, and that's because I went ahead and upgraded charcoal storage. So we've almost got 2,000 blocks of charcoal right now, so which is plenty. And I changed my mind on what I was going to do. I'm not going to be using blocks of charcoal. I'm going to leave them in compression drawers, and that's due to the fact that they can store so much more if you go ahead and compress them. But we're actually going to be using the charcoal, and we're going to be turning it into red coal. I was doing some thinking, and I was like, oh yeah, we've got extra utilities too in this pack. Why not do red coal? So, in preparation of that, which I'll go over why that is, but I did go ahead and expand this setup. We now have 3 full setups of those water mills. So one right there, and then the other one is right over here. Now, I still have one more of these to set up in that farm that I haven't even built yet. So eventually there's going to be 4 of those. That's not going to be all of what we have, but that's a start. And if we take a look at our resonator, right now, as far as GP that we are producing a whopping 216 grid power. Okay? So, and we're only using 10 of it, and that is just for this right here. 10 of it that's being used all the time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with handling our power situation. We're going to go ahead and start sorting that stuff out. And then we're going to switch gears, and we're going to start moving in jetpacks and Mekanism for the latter part of the episode. So, first thing I want to do is let's pop up here, and we're going to add one additional item to our storage. And I should have a drawer right here. We're not going to compact this or anything like that. We're just going to use a straight up, just a frame drawer, and I'm not going to add any size upgrades to this. Just a standard drawer, 32 stacks, that's perfect. Really, it's kind of overkill, but that way we always have some on hand, is what I'm thinking. So as far as placement, I think what we're going to do is, let's put this, I think we'll have the drawer setting right here, and we're going to have the resonator setting right here. Okay? Just an extra utilities resonator. They're fairly cheap to make at this point, so I went ahead and made a second one. This one is going to be for automatic stuff. And you probably have a good idea of where I'm going with this. And then I'm going to cover what I decided on the biofuel after this, but we're not going to be getting into that just yet, because we do require a little bit more progression before we get into using our saplings and our apples. So, okay, I went ahead and popped upstairs, and I got the stuff that we're going to need. That is transfer nodes, transfer pipes, and filters. Of course, eventually we'll probably change this over to item conduits, but for right now, this is what we need. And what we're going to do is we're going to have, which this stuff's all going to be visible until we change over to item conduits, so it cannot be helped. Let's go ahead and start with this part. I'm going to put a transfer node on the bottom of this resonator, and then I'm just going to run conduits over like that. Let's go ahead and break this stuff off right there. Okay, and what we're going to be producing, oh, and right here as well. Let's do that. Okay, so basically this transfer line only runs from the resonator to the frame drawer. And what we're going to be producing here is going to be red coal. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and lock this into our drawer. I just grabbed the wrong thing. There we go. We'll lock that in. And we'll go ahead and grab that out, because I'm going to talk about that in just a second. If you're not really familiar with red coal and the way that it works. And the way that it works, it's very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Okay, so next up, if I can get myself sorted here, we're going to attach a transfer node onto this. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of this. No, not that. There we go. I want actual charcoal. And we're going to put charcoal into our filter. And whitelist match, yeah, that's all good. Just standard. Put that right on there, and we're going to add our filter into there, and now it can only pull out charcoal. And then what we're going to do is just run our transfer nodes over, like so. And there we go. It's going to dump charcoal into our resonator, and it's going to start running. So what it's going to do is it's going to produce red coal. And you don't have to use coal, you can use charcoal, and it'll still produce the same red coal. It's the same regardless of whether or not you use coal or charcoal or, you know, whatever. And there we go. There was a red coal, and now we have, well, we should be just about to have 2 of these. Oh, we have 1. I forgot I took that 1 out. Okay. So, there we go. Now we have 3 red coal. And we can speed this thing up with speed upgrades, though it's not really going to be a rush for us to do that. Honestly, it's better off if we use less speed upgrades for right now, because we get more efficiency out of it. So if we take out the red coal, and we take a look at this, it's got a huge bit of detail here. It says red coal, it boosts fuel efficiency with additional GP up to 700%. Current efficiency boost is 270%. Okay, so what that means is that red coal, if you take, like, say, standard charcoal, okay, charcoal has a burn time of 1600. Red coal, what it does, it gets efficiency boosts up to 700%, which is massive. 7 times efficiency is massive, you know, on something that's basically just sitting there and running through the resonator. But what happens is the more efficiency that you have, or the way you get more efficiency is you produce more GP. So that's why I went ahead and set up 3 of those GP setups. We don't actually need the GP right now, but it increases the efficiency boost that red coal gives. And in turn, the higher efficiency that it has, the higher burn time that it has, then the more power that we're going to get out of each piece of red coal. So our charcoal at this point is going to go pretty far. And then once we up GP production by adding more water meals or dragon meals or something like that, we eventually get it up to 700% efficiency. That red coal is going to be able to, this coke oven setup and this tree farm setup, producing red coal, which will eventually add speed upgrades to the resonator to make sure everything keeps up and stays stocked. But it's going to burn that charcoal for so long and produce so much power from it that it's going to allow this stuff to all get backed up, hopefully, and then we'll be producing excess wood, so we have plenty of wood for our uses and plenty of power coming from the charcoal, the red coal, and all of that. So eventually all this stuff's just going to shut down. It's going to be backed up. It's going to be good. So that's the plan. And then it'll just kind of kick on as it needs to and whatnot. Creosote is almost backed up. So, I mean, like, honestly, right now, this little power setup right here is enough power to run everything that I've been running. Of course, we haven't started automation and stuff like that, or any kind of really heavy machines like the Empower. So, you know, there is that, but we'll get into that before too long. Alright, so what we're going to do with the red coal is we are actually going to be using furnace generators. I debated a little bit on how I wanted to do this. Originally, I was thinking about doing some steam dynamos or something like that. But the benefit that furnace generators have from extra utilities is that these can be toggled on and off with redstone. Okay? Now, today, I think I'm only going to make 1, and that's simply due to the fact that, in truth, this power setup is very expandable, so we can keep expanding it as we need power. But honestly, this setup right here with our 4 compression dynamos, each producing 60 RF per tick, it's more than enough power for our needs. And then if we throw on another furnace generator, I believe is going to produce, I want to say it's only like 40 RF per tick or something like that. but we can expand on them, and you can add speed upgrades to these with extra utilities. If you have the extra GP setting around, you can add speed upgrades. So once again, that's another expandable power source that we can build on as we progress and as we need more power. But like I said, that red coal is going to go really, really far on power generation. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a couple things here. To make the furnace generator, we need a powered furnace. Okay, so we're kind of starting to move into actually addition somewhat. So let's get ourselves, let me get an block of iron here, because I actually have not made any Anori crystals yet. There we go. And we'll go ahead and break that down. Oh, by the way, I did end up turning in that one quest that we completed in rock hounding. I went ahead and turned it in, and I got steel scaffolds. So just a heads up on that, because I basically used one for the metal press for decor, almost like put an extra conveyor on the back, kind of like what I did in Farming Valley the other day. So all right, and we are going to need some black quartz. So that's why I went ahead and ran all this through the crusher, because I knew we were going to need a little bit of black quartz today. And that was something that prior to having an actual power setup, I never had a lot of that on hand, because I only made it as I needed to. Now we've got pretty much infinite power, and so I was just like, okay, let's make a bunch of this. Oh yeah, and I need nether bricks. I've started making our furnaces out of nether brick instead of dried brick. It's just a little bit easier. So, and we're gonna need some redstonia crystals. We're actually gonna be making some of this stuff before too long, probably off camera. But I'd like to make some powered furnaces and double crushers and stuff like that. And we can make them. I'm not going to worry about doing it on camera, I don't think, because it's pretty much just NEI crafting. Maybe get some machines crafted up and stuff. Okay, so there's the powered furnace, and I think that's the most involved part. Then we just need 5 nichrome, and then 1 cupronickel, which I had to make that. That stuff, it's not terribly hard to make. It's 5 copper, 2 nickel, manganese, and iron. So honestly, we're at the point now where I can go up there and I can pretty easily knock out alloys, like, without a whole lot of effort. So, alright, and then we can get our very first furnace generator. Alright, so then what we can do is, right up here, I guess we'll set the, I don't want to do that too far out, because kind of what I'm thinking is we're going to have, like, okay, it'd be right here will be a divider for this side. And I will say the top of this side is all going to be our biofuel setup. So I'll probably use this side for our red coal setup. So eventually, I mean, if we wanted to, which I don't foresee it, because we can put, like I said, we can put speed upgrades in these furnace generators, make them even faster. So I don't think we're actually going to need a bunch of these. So I'll probably do something else up at the top. But we could expand this out and have just tons of furnace generators. But like I said, I don't think we're going to need it. But with the efficiency boost that red coal provides, technically we could, and we could run it without, you know, too much issue. So, I mean, that option is there. I just don't foresee us needing that much furnace generator power, because all the mods, really, it has a lot of really powerful power generation stuff in it. So, I don't think that'll be an issue. Okay, so what we're going to do is just bring this up then, and we'll go ahead and break that off. So it's going to pump red coal up into this furnace generator, and it's going to start producing power. And you can see right here, that's how fast it's eating through a piece of red coal. Okay, it's very, very, very slow. And a single piece of this in a standard, without efficiency boost, it produces 16,000 RF. Okay, but then keep in mind that you're giving it an extra, like, 270% boost. So it's going to produce quite a bit of power on a single piece of red coal. I mean, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but right there, speed upgrades. So that is an option. And you can see 76. I want to see exactly about where it gets to at our current efficiency boost, considering that's not even halfway as high as we can go. So there's 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. So about 60,000 RF being produced off a single piece of red coal, and that's just with 270% efficiency boost. So altogether, we're going to be well over 100,000 per piece of charcoal. Okay, and it's not using any additional resources, just a little bit of GP is being tied up producing that red coal for us. So that's not bad at all. And I'm going to go ahead and set this to redstone on and make this stop, because one thing to note about the furnace generator, when it fills up, it's just going to slowly eat. Actually, I'll let it fill up real quick because it's not going to take a second. I'll show you. It will slowly consume red coal, or well, any kind of coal. It'll slowly consume it if we don't power it off. But the nice thing about furnace generators is if you toggle the redstone on, they will completely stop consuming whatever they're burning. Which kind of, honestly, using solid fuel like charcoal, it's kind of a bonus to be able to do that, because normally any kind of solid fuel burning, it finishes burning whatever it's running at the time before it stops. So there we go, 100,000, and if you look here, you see that the seconds are still filling up. Okay, so we want to make sure that redstone is on there, and the nice thing is the energy cells, these can actually be toggled. I'm gonna have to do something. I just realized this. I don't know why I did this. This part's actually pushed out. This part's pushed back, and it's kind of all lopsided right now. I don't know. This part I was thinking about having shelves, which is really not necessarily bad. I could lopside it, and that way it kind of feels like the room slightly opens as we go farther back. I don't know. That was kind of on accident, but I actually kind of like it now. Because I started pushing them back on this side because it was the drawers, but then I just kept pushing it back. But I actually kind of like that. Yeah, I'm going to give it some thought. I might actually leave it because I kind of like it, because it kind of feels like the room opens out a little bit more. But anyways, we can actually run from the energy cells. We can run a comparator and read how full it is based off of the comparator reading. So we could have it say if it's below, 8, it'll kick on or something. Which right now I'm not gonna do that right this second. Just know that you can read energy cells with comparators. Honestly, I kind of would rather do a power monitor. That's still a little ways off. But since we're kind of doing like a central power grid with this, and eventually we're gonna have like a big capacitor bank and stuff, probably upstairs, I think. Or we might have it like over here, I don't know. But I do want to do power monitor setups to control things like the furnace generators. So I don't know. But I'm not actually going to plug this up to the power right now because I don't really need it. I mean, this is keeping up plenty. So I'll connect that later. I just kind of wanted to show you how this was going to be connected up. Alright. So anyways, moving on, we have some other stuff I would like to tackle. And first, I want to go over what we're going to do for biopower, okay? Which I'm going to wait on sticks. I'm actually going to let these build up for a bit longer because we do need the triple compressed stick, or I mean the octuple compressed stick, I think it was. So I'm actually just going to let these sticks build up for right now. I don't actually need the power, so there's no reason on implementing something to produce power with them right this second when I could instead benefit from letting the sticks build up. Because if we let the sticks build up, then I could make that stick sword, right, that has like 100 attack damage. We could just wait and get like 2 octuple compressed. I think that would be a little bit more beneficial than some random power added right this second. Long term, we will add power from that, but anyways, the biopower, the apples and the saplings. I was turning it over in my head because I was thinking of doing like a biofuel or doing like an ethanol-based power from like forestry. You can also use thermal expansion for producing the ethanol if you so desire. I mean, there's a lot of different options that we could tackle when it comes to using the apples and the saplings. Also, culinary generators, you can burn the saplings, you can do biofuel, biomass, biochaff, like all this different stuff that you could do. But I think what we're going to do, and it's a little bit farther in, if you watched my original All the Mods series, not the Expert Remastered, but just the original one, what we did for power was we used potatoes and we ran them through Mekanism and then ran them through advanced generators. Perfect opportunity to tackle some stuff with Mekanism and advanced generators. It produces a lot of power. So I think that's what we're going to do. Instead of using potatoes from our potato farm, like we did in all the mods, we're actually going to use the apples and the saplings to produce ethylene. and run that through our advanced generator. Okay, so it's basically the same premise as what we did on All the Mods 3, but a little bit later on, once we get a little bit farther through Mechanism and stuff, we'll set up an advanced generator. We'll start producing ethylene, because these apples and these saplings that are coming in from the tree farm are going to be more than enough ethylene to run that, which is a lot of power. Like, you combine the creosote power, which is actually a substantial amount of power, especially once these are upgraded and once this stuff is running full throttle. Then you combine the efficiency and the power of multiple furnace generators running red coal. Then you combine the ethylene running through an advanced generator. We'll have so much power, it's going to be great. Like, we'll be able to run plenty off of this one power setup. So it was a lot of setup, but we'll be able to use every aspect of it. And then eventually we'll use sticks as well. Basically just burn those to produce power, but I'm going to wait for right now. So what we're going to do today is we're going to continue down the tech progression tree, which I feel like next up is either thermal stuff or mechanism. We could kind of do either or. So we are going to start mechanism today. Okay, now to start mechanism, we're going to have to do just a little bit of thermal stuff. But we need to make some machine frames. These are hardened casings, which are sturdy casings, a bit of bronze, of course, to make those. Then we have to run diamond with the sturdy casing with water to make our hardened casings. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves... Actually, you know what? I just realized this thing, I ran out of lava in it. So I am going to have to... Because I was making Invar, and I ran out of lava. So let me go get some lava, and I've got some brass, or some bronze pouring. I did prep it. I don't know that I have enough... I think I have enough bronze for what I want to do today. But I do need to get more lava in this. So let me pop down here. Let me get some lava from our little lava pools that are down here. And I'm going to get that smeltery running some more. Just go ahead and fill this up real quick. And then the extra lava, I went ahead and filled up a stone drum. I tend to, anytime I have to go get lava, I fill up a stone drum. There's our bronze. And the reason is because all of my, my main, like, manual power for IC2 is all lava based. So I've just got that set up, and you'll see the geothermal generators kick on and build up power. So that's what that's for. And it'll probably eat through that power, or it'll eat through that lava. It'll actually probably finish up the bat boxes, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. And then I've just got 2 stone drums that I interchange because I haven't set up pumps yet. And getting 16 buckets of lava, it's not too bad. And it's something I can kind of do anytime I need to go get lava. So 2 sturdy casings. I'm actually going to go ahead. No, I'll just make 2 for now. I need to make more bronze between episodes. And then we'll get our 8 diamonds. And we can go ahead and set up a recipe in here. That's how you make hardened casings. And we'll get that running. Okay? And then next up, to make our machine frames, we're going to have to make golden electron tubes. And these do craft 4 at a time. It's just a bit of gold and a bit of redstone, which actually I am pretty well out of gold, I think. No, actually I'm not. Never mind. I'm not out of gold. I've got quite a bit. Oh, and there we go. There's a bunch of Invar. We'll get that running out. I've been using a lot of Invar because I've been making... I went ahead and upgraded entirely, if you noticed, from the leadstone flux ducts to the hardened flux ducts. And they just transfer more power, and we're at the point where we can make those, so I figured, why not? We'll go ahead and get those crafting, or using those. Since we've kind of got that main power network that runs up from downstairs, it just seemed like the best, oh, you know what, I forgot, glass. This does take glass because you have to make it in the thermionic fabricator. Okay, we're going to do gold, and I'm going to go ahead and make, we'll do 4 crafts of this. And then redstone, like that. And then if we add, go ahead and flip that lever so this power will start building up on this. And we'll throw in some glass. I think probably 2 of these, I think, will be enough. I could check the recipe, but we're about to find out. Is it 500 per craft? Yeah, it's 500 per craft. So 2 pieces of glass. There is our 16 golden electron tubes. Because I'm going to end up making more of those machine frames, so I figure why not. And our 2 hardened casings are done. So we'll go ahead and grab those. And, okay, this is... Yeah. See, it pumped a bunch of lava over to those, but these bat boxes are filled. I mean, these bat boxes are not filled. This one's filled. And backed up on power. So that's good. That's still got lava in it, but that's because I'm using standard fluid conduits and not pressurized. But they're cheaper. So I don't mind having a little bit of fluid in the tubes. Okay, and then we can get our machine frames. 2 of those. Okay, so now the worst part's actually kind of out of the way. The magma crucible, I'm going to craft the rest of this off camera. We just need some Invar gears, redstone reception coil, which we've covered that, redstone conductance coil, and then we're also going to need a fluid transposer, which requires more Invar gears, redstone reception coil, some glass. So, okay. And I will be back in just a minute once I get the magma crucible and the fluid transposer crafted up. Okay, I've got our magma crucible and our fluid transposer. And the reason we're making these is because we are working towards the metallurgic infuser, which this requires, among other things, this requires resonant flux ducts, which require signal flux ducts, which require redstone energy flux ducts. These have to be made in addition to hardened glass, which we can make that in the induction smelter, but that requires the Gaia Guardian's head, or we can make it through casting with reinforced glass. Okay, which we're going to get into today as well. So I doubt we'll get our jetpack and everything today, but we're kind of moving into the next stage of tech. Alright, so we're going to put our magma crucible down and our fluid transposer down. These are just going to be manual use for the time being. We'll go ahead and clear these out, and we're going to say that you can output out the right-hand side. You can input from the left-hand side. Okay, so those are done. That part of it's done, and then if we were to take... I don't have any redstone on me. Let me go grab some redstone real quick. I'm just going to grab like 2 blocks. It should be more than enough for what we're going to be needing for right now, but we'll go ahead, which we will get into a bit more Botania before long. But that's the nice thing is we started up bees. We kind of got bees kicking along a little bit, and we'll be expanding on that in the next few episodes. But while we're working on that, since bees take a while, we have plenty of stuff to work on. So anyways, I've got that redstone running, and now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make hardened glass, which luckily the metallurgic infuser, it does not require much. It just requires 2 resonant flux ducts, so 2 of these crafts, or just 1 of these crafts, so we can make like 1 craft of this. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make ourselves some reinforced glass from IC2, which is not terribly expensive. It does require this advanced alloy, which is compressors. We're going to need silver plates, electrum plates, and constantan plates. Okay, so silver, electrum, and constantan. What do we have? There's 3 constantan. There is 3 electrum, and then silver. Okay, now we're also going to have to make ourselves a compressor from IC2, and this is pretty straightforward, just a basic machine casing, some hardened stone, and you can use any of them, and then electronic circuits, which we have crafted before. So give me just a moment while I get this stuff crafted up, and I will be back in just a minute. I don't have any bronze plates. No, but I do have some bronze. Okay, we've got pretty much everything for the compressor. So let's go ahead and get this thing crafted. There we go. There is our compressor. And I did get the plates started up, so we should have those. I ran these through, I just ran them through this. Since the setup was right here, there's silver plates, electrum, constantan, and then we can get our alloy, mixed metal ingots. There we go. Oh, I need to make... Those only craft 1 at a time. Okay. I think normally they craft like 2 or something, or 3, or I don't know. I don't remember them only crafting 1 at a time like that, but I could be wrong. I'll tell you what. I've got this over here. I'm just going to set this up right here for right now. just because we can, and then I'll probably do a little bit more. I imagine right over here I'm going to have a little bit more IC2 stuff, I think. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see as we get the machines. So we'll go ahead and dump that in there. It's going to start running. And it's running, it's actually running a little bit, barely more power than what we're creating with our water meals. So that's fine. And let's go ahead and get one more of these mixed metal ingots. There we go. And we'll get that running. And there we go. 2 advanced alloy. Okay. So now we can get our hardened glass. To make our flux ducts. To make more flux ducts. To make more flux ducts. Alright, so advanced alloy, and there we go. There is 7 reinforced glass. And I actually only need like 2... Actually, I think I only need 1 piece of this, don't I? Which, hardened, I can use like pretty much any kind of hardened glass. 144 millibuckets makes the glass. So, yeah, I've got that. And I think I've got just some metals up here. I'm sure I've got something that I can use. I just don't know if there's anything up here that I want to use. Oh no, the only thing I have in here is molten aluminum brass. Okay, let me grab, I'll probably grab a piece of copper, because I've got a ton of copper. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this off for right now. There we go. We'll put our reinforced glass right in there, and as soon as this is done, we'll just get a piece of hardened copper glass. Now technically we could already do jetpacks, but I'm kind of waiting for a certain point that we reach, kind of as a reward for getting through all this stuff, getting into Mekanism and all that good stuff. We're going to reward ourselves with a jetpack. Okay, so there is our hardened copper glass. Okay, and then what we need to do, what is it, electrum to make this? Yes, 2 pieces of electrum. Which, don't I have some more? Oh, there's 1 piece. Might as well go ahead and move all this Invar downstairs too. Which I may need to prep some more. I'm prepping that, this Invar particularly, for our jetpack. So, which will probably be, I think, next episode, judging by the time right now. Okay, so there's our redstone energy flux duct. And then what we need to do to make redstone energy flux duct is just fill that with some destabilized redstone. Alright, so let's go do that. And technically these flux ducts that we're making right now, they are better than the hardened. But I'm not at the point where I'm like, I want to change everything over to redstone flux ducts. Like, they're still kind of expensive. Okay, so redstone energy flux ducts. There we go. And I'm just going to let those other ones run. I'll get those out in a minute. Signum flux duct, 3 of those, 3 redstone, and a signalum ingot. And this, we can make this through the alloy smelter. Molten signalum is a mix of destabilized redstone, some silver, and some copper. Which, I'll be honest, I'm not going to count out exact amounts. I don't need a ton of signalum right now. I'm just going to do something like that. And then while we're at it, let's go ahead and get the stuff that we're going to need for Enderium. We're going to be making Enderium through the alloy smelter as well. It's a combination of resonant ender, platinum, silver, and tin. So let's go ahead and get some more silver. Get a piece of tin, a piece of shiny or platinum, and then we're going to need some ender pearls. I'm going to go ahead and grab like 16. So first up, we'll get that stuff running. Oh, I can't make redstone that way, can I? I'm probably going to have to pump destabilized redstone into it, aren't I? Yeah, I'm going to have to pump this in from a magma crucible. That's fine. What we'll do is, let me get a conduit. One of our fluid conduits here. And I'm going to need to get some more redstone broken down. I'm definitely going to have to craft some upgrades for this magma crucible and this induction smelter, or the fluid transposer, I mean. They're not terribly expensive at this point, those hardened upgrades, so I'll probably craft some of those. So there is a bucket of destabilized redstone. And now that I think about it, we have another bucket down there, right? One that I got a while back. Oh, I totally forgot about that. That's fine. And can I go ahead? Okay, ender pearls we're going to have to do the same thing with. We're going to have to melt those down. That's fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to break off that faucet, and we are going to take and set up our stone drum. And we'll say that you can extract always active. We'll dump our bucket of destabilized redstone in there, and it's going to start pumping it into here, and you'll notice it just made an ingot of signalum. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pour that out, and we'll get our platinum, silver, tin. That might combine a little bit with copper and make some bronze, yeah. But we still got plenty of silver, I think, for our needs. Then let's go ahead and get some ender pearls running. We'll get these breaking down and making resonant ender for us. And while that's going, we've got the signalum that we need. We can get our next tier of flux duct. I swear this part is very involved. It'll be a lot easier once we have the infrastructure, but getting that infrastructure in place is what takes the majority of the time. Alright, so signalum flux duct, there we go. There's 3 of those. Okay, so now we just need the resonant upgrade. And the extra destabilized redstone that's in this, I'm going to set this to mode empty and set the yellow side to like right here, and we'll just pull this out real quick. So we'll set that there. Say extract always active, and then we'll just put stone drum like right there. Alright. And there we go. 500 millibuckets of destabilized redstone. And there's our bucket of resonant ender. And we'll just swing over here. There we go. Empty that out. And then we'll dump in our resonant ender and empty that out. There's our ingot of enderium. And we'll go ahead and just dump that out. And I'm going to leave that plugged up for right now, because I'm going to make some more of this probably off camera, just to use up that enderium and stuff that's lying around. Okay, so now we can get our resonant flux duct. Okay, that's the worst part, I'd say, out of the way, towards the metallurgic infuser. Then next up, we're going to need a couple blocks of osmium, which osmium, the best way to get it at this point, it'll be a lot easier to get later on, but at this point, the best way to get it is from breaking down our stuff within rock hounding. Which, if you take a look here, I have 15 osmium dust. Which actually is not enough. That's fine. I've got some other stuff around here. I thought I had more stuff with osmium, but I guess I do not. So let me get, yeah, native gang at 20 gravity. Makes osmium shards. Gonna need something to burn. How much? We've got 63 red coal that's built up. And then a stack in there, and then a stack in our transfer node. So that's coming along all right. Like I said, we can do speed upgrades if we needed it to speed that whole process up. But there we go. So it's going to start making osmium shards for us, so that's fine. And then all we have to do is smelt that up, and we'll have the stuff that we need for that. Now, in addition, we are going to need a blast furnace, which takes HOP graphite. This is where things are going to start getting interesting, because we're going to need multi-blocks to make this. That's fine. Now, we're also going to need mish metal ingots, which takes all this stuff. I don't have that prepped because I knew we wouldn't necessarily need it this episode. Okay, we have the osmium dust that we need. 18 of that, and I'm just going to throw this in the electric furnace. I can't throw it in the electric furnace. Okay, you know what? It has to be done in the redstone furnace, induction, smelter. We can also do it in the smeltery, which is where we're going to do it at. Just because I'll probably have a redstone furnace by next episode. I haven't got around to prepping one. Well, because we just started thermal stuff today, but that would be a lot of the reason as to why. But anyways, we'll get that stuff cooking up. And I'm going to go ahead and actually pull that off, because we're going to make blocks with this. Okay, so there is our osmium, 162 nuggets that we can make. Can I not pour that out to... None of this? Okay. Do I have to pour it out as a nugget? Okay, yeah, we can't, apparently. For some reason, that osmium, it does not work. That's plus TIC osmium. It's not... It's not the Mekanism osmium now. Which is kind of strange that that's a thing. I kind of wish that wasn't a thing, because when I looked in there, it was like, oh yeah, you can make osmium. Like, that's no problem. Because, like, osmium ingot, well, you can't make it here. what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make a redstone furnace or an arc furnace, but I'm probably going to go with the redstone furnace. We're not going to be able to do draconium yet. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to go with the arc furnace to make osmium. Like, that's what it looks like, is we're going to have to make an osmium. I knew we were going to have to make an arc furnace at some point. Didn't realize it was going to be that soon. Now, the fact that I wasted the osmium, not really a big concern, because I can easily... Look at that, 53 osmium shards. So I'll get that stuff running. That's not really a problem. I don't mind that too much. But yeah, we are going to have to make an arc furnace. So, let's go ahead. We're going to switch over. I know it's getting fairly close to wrapping up point. But we need to take a look at some of the heavy machinery. Because in addition to all of that stuff, which I'm going to get the stuff prepped between episodes to make an arc furnace. And we'll do that next episode, as well as get the mish metal ingots. Then we can get the osmium, and we can finish what we haven't finished up to that point towards making the blast furnace. But we're going to have to get HOP graphite for the graphite electrodes, which these have to be crafted in the engineer's workbench. We'll get into that next episode. But then we've also got this, which we can pull that off. That's pretty easy at this point. HOP graphite. The way that you make this, you're going to have to get HOP graphite dust. This has to be made in the industrial squeezer. 8 coke dust makes 1 HOP graphite dust. So we're going to have to make ourselves an industrial squeezer, which this requires 6 steel scaffolding, and then we're going to need 2 fluid pipes, which we should have right there. And the nice thing is we already have our blast furnace preheaters for making the blast furnace, because we haven't actually upgraded our blast furnace. A redstone engineering block. We need to upgrade our rolling machine to like the electric one, because honestly it's pretty handy to be able to just whip up like 4 plates like really fast like that. I still find myself using the manual one. And the nice thing is that osmium that we put into the smeltery, I'm not too worried about having done that, because we're going to end up needing that for osmiridium, so it's not a terrible thing. It's just not really what I meant to do at the moment, so that's okay. Alright, so red engineering block, or redstone engineering block, there we go. That's done. And then we're going to need 2 light engineering blocks, 4 wooden barrels. Alright, there's the light engineering blocks, and then the wooden barrels. These are treated wood planks. And it just so happens that I have more creosote than I'll ever be able to use. So, making treated wood is not an issue. There is our 4 wooden barrels. And then all we need now is a piston and 3 steel fences, which I think we might have the steel fences. But if not, it's not a big deal to craft those. Alright, steel fence. There we go. There's 3 of those. And then we just need the piston. Okay, so we are all set. Now we're ready to go set this thing up. Get our squeezer in place. And that is actually what this little area here is kind of dug out for. It's because I want the fermenter and the squeezer. Well, I don't really know if we need a manual fermenter, but I might set one up just for the sake of it. So, alright, so that's what it's going to look like. So we're going to need to do a light engineering block right here. We're going to need to do fluid pipes like that. Steel scaffolding like that. Light engineering block right there. Redstone engineering block right there. The 4 wooden barrels right there. And then we're going to have to do steel fences like that and a piston right there. Okay. Engineer's hammer. Right click the center, and there is our industrial squeezer. Alright, and power to this thing, I think it's on the side, right? Or is it the top? Nah, it's right there. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to need to make, I think, some more hardened flux ducts, which I can probably pull it off with just these, I think. So there is... There we go. It's like visual bug. There's 12 hardened flux ducts. And actually, while we're down here, let me grab... I'm going to need more coal coke than that. I'm going to need quite a bit more. Let me grab this anthracite, I guess. Oh, that's right. I forgot I made 64 more right here. Okay. So, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to take this coal coke and I'm going to go ahead and throw like 63 pieces through the crusher. Because we need to make coke dust. And then we're going to get this power plugged up, and I'm just going to plug it up and around. Actually, it can plug into the side. It doesn't have to be the top, so we'll just connect it up to like right there. It just has to be connected into that block. So that will be fine. We'll bring that down, and there's the line that we need to plug into, so we'll just do it like that. Okay, so that should have power now. Alright, and then if we take our coke dust and we put it into the industrial squeezer, it's going to start crushing that. You can see the bar over here is running, and it's going to produce HOP graphite. Okay, and then these we can take and we can just smelt them even in a regular furnace. It'll work and produce HOP graphite ingots. And then for the metallurgic infuser, this is crazy, the amount of effort that has to go into this thing. For the blast furnace, we're going to need 2 HOP graphite here, and then we're going to need an additional 4 for each electrode. So altogether, we're going to need 14 HOP graphite. So that stack of coal coke is not even enough, which is fine. That's why I went ahead and got more coal coke running. There we go. There's a bit more HOP graphite, which I think, yeah, that's really the only way. It's going to be 1 for 1, so that's about the best we can do. Electric furnace, will this work? Will it make HOP graphite? Yes, okay. So, we'll get that running. Like I said, I need 14 HOP graphite to craft the blast furnace, to craft the metallurgic infuser. And the crazy thing is, long term, we're going to need multiples of these. One metallurgic infuser is not going to cut it for long term. Induction furnace, that's not too bad. So, anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode. So we've got a good foot in the door towards our metallurgic infuser. Next episode we'll get it finished, but we do have to craft a few things. We have to set up an arc furnace. So I am going to prep some stuff for that. That is probably the most expensive, or one of the most expensive multi-blocks. Not the most expensive. There's some other crazy things within immersive engineering. But arc furnace, you need a cauldron, 14 steel sheet metal slabs, 8 steel sheet metal, 6 steel blocks, 5 steel scaffolding, 1 redstone engineering block, 10 light engineering blocks, 5 heavy engineering blocks, and 27 reinforced blast bricks. Very, very expensive. Okay, so I'm going to get the stuff prepped for that, so next episode we can just get it set up and get it done, because it is going to take a lot of effort to get that. And I'm also going to prep, let's see, the blast furnace stuff. I'll probably prep some of the stuff towards the advanced machine casings. I think all this stuff is pretty straightforward. Just going through here. Steel plates, basic machine frames, advanced alloy, which we made. So I'll probably go ahead and prep the advanced machine casing. Also the induction furnace I'm going to go ahead and probably prep, because that's pretty straightforward to make. Blast furnace preheaters, we've got that. So next episode we'll get into the arc furnace to get our osmium for this part. And then we'll also get our mish metal ingots. I'll probably do those off camera because this is just more rock hounding stuff. And then we'll also get into the graphite electrodes. Now, bear in mind that you cannot craft these with the metal press, I do not believe. These say specifically 100% integrity. So to make 100% integrity graphite electrodes, you're going to have to make them through the engineer's workbench. So we're going to have to get a blueprint for that. Which is craftable here, but it does require a bunch of HOP graphite. Now, technically, you can find this in a village, but honestly, see, blacksmith. Yeah, you can find it in the village, blacksmith or stronghold library. So I might look around for that, but if worse comes to worse, it is craftable with HOP graphite. So I'm going to be making a bunch of it. I might as well go ahead and make more. So, in truth, that's not really a big deal, because I'll have plenty of time to make that coal coke in the time it takes to prep other stuff. So, And then I'm going to do a bit of building. So next episode, we will get our metallurgic infuser, which we're going to get... Once we get that, my plan is we're going to get the metallurgic infuser, and then to kind of celebrate getting that, we're going to make ourselves a Mekanism charge pad, which is very easy to make once we get the metallurgic infuser, because energy tablet, I mean, that's super simple. That stuff's not changed at all, really. So we're going to get a charge pad, we're going to get a jetpack to celebrate breaking into Mekanism. So we're finally going to have flight, which is going to be awesome. So we'll probably go for like a tier 2, maybe. So I will probably prep some of the stuff for that as well between episodes. So, and then we'll finally have flight, which means I can build the upper sections of, like right here, the ceiling, and then up above ground, actually start doing the big fountains and water stuff that's up there, and actually bringing that top section finally together. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I'll be honest with you, like, when we first started the pack, I was kind of like, you know, it's okay. And the farther I've gotten into the pack, I've really started enjoying it more because of the way that stuff's set up. Like Mekanism. Oh, to make the starting machine for Mekanism, you have to do all these things. Like, it's so involved to do it, which I do quite love with this pack, because there was a lot of thought, I think, put into the recipes and making everything kind of flow well. And you really have to tackle like all kinds of parts of the mod. Like arc furnace is something that in most packs you don't generally make the arc furnace for immersive engineering, but it's set up in a way within this pack that you pretty much have to make an arc furnace at one point or another for different things. I know osmiridium, I think that's one of the primary ways. You can also, I think, use the smeltery for it, but arc furnace would be better, I think, for later game and stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.